you can sort of end it a lot quicker. You can fight him head on in any given situation and stuff like that. Now, it's important to note at this point of the game that just take a quick look at Moon's Tree of Ages. It's almost tier 2 now. So Moon knows he's gonna have a Naga. So what he's doing is he's purposely fighting near the tavern, because if he can get tier 2 and engage nilk here at the tavern and use the tavern as a sort of meat shield, like use it as a choke point, which is something I'll try and go into a bit more detail later in the game, like choke points on this map, then he'll be at a huge advantage. He knows that nilk isn't going to be tier 2 as soon as he is, because he checked the he was harassing nilk earlier with his DH. So here comes Naga, but it gets surrounded, which is kind of lame. And nilk researchers defend, and Moon is essentially forced to TP. So much for that advantage. Now, it's difficult to say who's winning at this point. You could say Moon is winning, but then again, his laws just went up, and nilk isn't exactly out of the game at this point. Now, Moon knows that nilk is going to hit T2 relatively soon, so he wants to be in nilk's base looking for the Naga, because when you have a level 3 DH that's burning 100 mana and doing 100 damage with his mana burn, and there's a slow ass Naga running around, then you're going to be in a great situation if you can find it running towards his base, as Moon will do here. So here's the Naga, and we basically see the Naga almost die. In a situation like this, you human players, one thing you want to be very mindful of is microing your featmen accordingly. I see a lot of people just hit defend and run in, and the slow ass featmen will... Oh yeah, here's the DH getting surrounded. This changes the game from here on in quite significantly. I'll go into this more later. As I was saying, micro tips. If you hit defend, you move, and your featmen like run their slow ass into the archers, all the night elf player has to do, and this is what night elf players should be doing, is moving back as soon as he gets near. What you want to do is you want to keep your archmage back. You want to keep it behind the featmen, because if your archmage is in range of his archers, then he's immediately going to focus on you. So that's what your night elf players should be doing. If the archmage is in range and your archers won't be hit by the featmen, if you can hit the archmage, then focus on the archmage. Although if he runs his defended featmen into your archers, then just move your archers back, refocus on one footman, and then run back again. So you're sort of like hitting him and then running back. But what you human players should be doing is this: you want to attack move your featmen into his or you want to split focus, so you have 2 or 3 featmen focusing one archer. Every time his archers and every time his units focus one of your featmen, you hit defend. That way, he'll have to split his archers' firepower up, which really does kind of suck, because archers do very small amounts of damage. They're only good when they're focus firing. Also important to note, if the human player researches defend, and you human players should know this, you can virtually creep out any map, any creep camp on this map. You can easily creep out the goblin shop. You can easily creep out the red spawn points, and you can easily creep out these turtle camps. Now back to strategy and choke points. Well, I'll talk about choke points later, but strategy. Okay, getting bears is a really great thing to do in this matchup, because bears will pretty much allow you to put an expansion up. So the quicker you get bears, the quicker you can put an expansion up. Think of it that way. A lot of players will stick around for dryads because of the rifle push. Now, I'm going to do an audio on the rifle push with a couple of replays, and I'll illustrate how to fight the rifle push. I'm just looking for the right replays. So if you have any replays of the rifle push, or you want me to commentate on a replay of a pro player using a rifle push or something, then send it to me via PM and I'll commentate on it. As I said earlier, the DH died, and that changed the outcome of this game. if that DH hadn't died, those Sanctums would have been harassed a little more, in my opinion. They might not have gone up, thus losing the game and nilk not having those Sorks. Now, nilk doesn't immediately TP in. If he immediately TPs in Nilk's base, there are no choke points for nilk to fight in. If he uses this Sanctum as a meat shield, Moon knows that he won't be able to win here. Moon knows Moon won't be able to win here, so Moon is forced to run back. See, he's using his buildings as a meat shield, and he's using his militia to zerg those druids, which is exactly what your human players should be doing. You want to use your militia as a front line, and you want to have your casters attack move to slow everything, and then you want to pull them back and focus down units one by one. So nilk at this point is playing flawlessly. It looked like Moon was going to win in the early stages of the game, but as you can see, it's still in the air. Now, if Moon had gone say Dryads, then he might not have to be, or he might not be in this situation. He might not have lost his DH, and he might not have had to fight the Sorks, because he would have been able to harass and stuff like that. So it's really a matter of preference. Now nilk, on the other hand, great player. He knows that Moon Moon put an expansion up because Moon's Naga had a wand of mana draining, or I don't remember the exact word, but it's the wand that drains mana. So nilk immediately runs to Moon's natural. Now, it's really important to know which camps drop which items, because all the camps, you can tell what your opponent has creeped out by what items that have dropped for him. So if you see like a greater healing potion or greater mana potion, then he's creeped out the middle turtle camps, or he's creeped out those level 7 turtles between the spawn points. Now, last audio I asked for people to send me PMs, because when I do an audio, like, sometimes I'll have nothing to talk about for a while, so I'll have to make shit up and stuff, like I'm doing right now. So if you can send me PMs with any questions you have about Night Elf versus any race in general, I'd be happy to answer your question during an audio and give you a shout out and stuff. So that way you'd be helping me by giving me something to talk about when there's nothing going on, and people can learn from the questions you ask. So yeah. Now, creeping out these camps is it's great, especially Night Elf Mirror or Night Elf versus Undead or something, where you can get the aura items to drop, like Legion Doomhorn and stuff, which is quite awesome. It's a great idea to creep those camps out in Night Elf Mirror, especially because basically getting Legion Doomhorn to drop in Night Elf Mirror is really awesome. It makes your bears in big bear fights do heaps of damage, and on that note, getting one of those vampiric aura items, Scourge Bone Chimes in Elf Mirror, is also really awesome. But back to the game. Now we see both players having a massive creep fest. This is because they want to hit the optimum levels. At this point in the game, actually let's go back to the battle. Now, take note of how Moon positions his units.